Matt, Beard Baron, Tunkasaw, and the Vamp. And of course,
Hello.
failure accomplished.
Also, Monday and Matt, because it didn't go live until after you said Monday and Matt already.
That's okay. I don't
No.
count.
You're a white male.
I think we've learned at this point, as a straight white male, I clearly have no say in society. Apparently, I'm
no.
also an alt-right racist cuck, but whatever, you know.
Whatever.
Just the way it is, man. It's just the way it is.
Yeah. Somewhere that Tupac song starts to play. Doo-doo-doon, doo-doo-doon, doo-doo-doon. That's just the way it is.
Oh, I need that. I need that song now. I haven't
That's
heard
a great
that one.
song. Tupac.
Change-
It was Changes. It was Changes.
Good shit.
Man, I miss Pac. 20
Those
years
are-
gone too
A
soon.
huge hit about 10 years after he was dead.
It was on his greatest hits album. It was track 5, disc 1, man. Like, that was the only album that thing popped up on. And then it was like a #1 in the charts and shit for a while.
It was. I remember, like, I was going to school and, like, everyone's talking about how it's, what was the show? Total Request Live. It was the biggest thing on that shit.
Oh God, TRL.
Oh, oof.
Remember when Carson Daly was relevant?
Hey,
I remember when he
does
was
shows, doesn't he?
Reed.
I remember that.
Yeah.
Does that motherfucker age? I saw a picture of him like recently. Plus, I saw him on TV like a year ago. He's not aging.
Some people don't age in Hollywood. It has a lot. It's a mixture of plastic surgery and then selling your soul to Baphomet. It's a weird
Yeah.
mix.
And real good,
Spread cooking.
and really good drugs.
The drugs as well. We
Yeah,
gotta
Well,
turn
also,
Brother Failure
either
back up
Baphomet
again.
or Scientology. Let's be realistic here.
This is
Yeah.
true.
Scientology will get you in the end. Monday,
It will. What happened to Brother Failure's mic? Hold on. I don't know if anybody can hear him.
Look,
He is
all right,
really muffled.
here's the problem. Here's the problem. He said I could figure out some things with the banana and to make me more bassier, and it just sounds like shit.
It's
He's
not
using
working?
a headset mic. Yeah, no, you're using a headset mic.
Jeez,
I'm sorry. Did you say you're
aggressive.
gonna be bassier with a banana?
Bassy banana.
Like, I figure the only place that banana
That
can
was
go
my
is raise it a few octaves.
that was my brother's terminology.
The bass banana.
I'm gonna put
I
a banana in my
figured.
butt. Talk deeper.
That's Onishi on second hit. Bassy banana, bassy banana.
Oh, okay.
Is that the
Oh,
remix
no.
that goes for 10 hours that we play on loop when someone falls asleep in the hangout?
Tonka.
I don't know what y'all
We're
bargaining
bad
at.
people.
Tonka got to do work, y'all. So, somebody's got to bring home the intergalactic bacon.
And we know it's not me, so.
Fuck no, it's not you.
As a full-time YouTuber, I can honestly say that I think everyone's gonna have to go back to finding a part-time job. So
Well, see, what we were talking about was my voice going from somewhere on into this octave
Whoa,
to this octave.
oh, so you went from
That's what I'm coming with
AM
now.
radio to FM radio.
that's
instantaneously.
what happened. Yeah.
Exactly.
Okay, so we
So
go
that's what
AM
I'm
or
trying to
FM.
explain to him.
Which
I
one
really
sounds
want
better?
to
You
I
guys?
don't know.
Opening line to Chumbawamba now. Or to.
You sound like fucking Howard Stern in that movie. Put your fucking speaker on the floor and straddle it.
Oh man, you guys want to hear a funny story about that? That movie came out when I was 15, right? I was a freshman in high school, and I had the day off of school because I had to go to a chiropractor appointment. And my mom's like, "What do you want to do afterward?" I'm like, "We could go see a movie." She's like, "All right, what do you want to go see?" And I'm all like, "That new Howard Stern movie just came out." She's like, "Who?" I'm like, "You know, the radio DJ Howard Stern." She's like, "Oh, okay. What's it called?" I'm like, "It's called Private Parts." She's like, "You want to go see that?" I'm like, "Yeah, but here's the thing. It's rated R. I'm not 17 yet, so you got to come with me. Is that cool?" She's like, "Yeah, all right, whatever. It can't be so bad." My mom took me to go see Private Parts first day, first showing.
Good lord.
And she said there's like 4 of us in the theater. And we're getting to the part where like Jenna Jameson is butt naked on screen. And she's just going like, "I can't believe I took my 15-year-old son to see this movie." And I'm going like, yeah.
Yeah, super mom.
You're a cool mom right now, lady. Okay, come on.
For sure.
Work with me, mom.
Mm-hmm.
But
That's definitely cool.
my mother did something similar once. She said that she would take us to see a cool movie if we would clean the entire yard, blah, 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 all this shit. We did it, and upon completion, she took us to see South Park. My mother is a miserable woman. She doesn't laugh at anything. She doesn't like it. Very similar to me, almost. She hates everything. But when they did the gimmick where the kids walked up on the clitoris in the woods, I've never seen anyone laugh as hard as my mother laughed that day.
That's amazing.
That's
That is beautiful.
I need to bring that up to her because, like, this woman does not smile at anything. So I should be, hey, remember when them kids found the clitoris in the woods?
oh man, that was great.
Yeah.
When I had a similar situation happen in the early 90s, my aunt wanted my cousin and I to clean the rooms or do chores and stuff. And she was like, I'll take you guys to see a movie. Like, what do you guys want to go see? And at the time, I don't know if you guys recall this. I'm totally dating myself here. Spaced Invaders had just come out.
Huh.
You ever see that movie?
No. That was like
You're missing the fuck out. It's a great movie.
early 80s.
Aliens crash land on Earth in like the Midwest on Halloween.
That's late
And
80s.
We're not talking. No. This is early. I think it was early.
Early
90s.
90s, late 80s. This is
Space
like Emilio Estevez
Invaders.
era.
Let's see. This is I'm gonna call 1990. Okay, so it's
Okay.
So yeah, basically it's a great movie, right? The guy who directed that also did Angus. If anyone saw Angus,
Oh shit.
Jesus Christ, I'm fucking old,
Oh my god, I have seen this movie.
right? Yeah, James Van Der Beek, and the redhead kid from fucking Major Pain. But anyway, so we get done with everything. My cousin and I want to go see Space Invaders. And she's like, okay, let's go see it. And we go to the theater. Like, she goes to the small single screen theater in town. We have 2 other theaters that are like multiplexes. She goes to the single screen theater, and they're not showing Space Invaders. They're showing My Left Foot with Daniel Day-Lewis.
Oh no.
Right? Movie about a guy with fucking like cerebral palsy who's also an artist and shit. Like, also partly during the Holocaust, whatever. I don't even really remember. So she took two 8-year-olds to go see goddamn My Left Foot. Instead of just driving, no, I'm not kidding you, a quarter mile up the road to the megaplex that had the fucking movie playing. So, all I can say to that is karma's a bitch. She died from an overdose about 10 years later. So, I'm kidding. It was
Okay, that's a lot of love. How's it? How am I sounding now?
No, you sound better, but Jesus, Karma, what? God, you sound way better, by the way. Way better. Leaps and or bounds.
And or bounds.
And or.
Wow.
And or.
All right, back what I was trying to say to Mundane. Since we were talking about you opening a dispensary, I don't know what state you're in, but you know the next 10 states that are actually going to legalize weed for recreational use are going to be New York, Rhode Island, Delaware, Maryland, Connecticut, Illinois, Missouri, Michigan, Vermont, and Arizona. So I hope you're in one of those.
Well, I live in Washington, so it's been legal here for a while. What I want to do is I want to, if possible, find a way to do it in California, because California is gonna. Well, here's the other problem with California too. There's a problem with California is they have so much weed in California that they are literally not going to be able to sell it all.
Yeah, the price is on the floor.
So
it's gotten there.
Even the illegal weed supposedly is cheaper because of
You're
that.
gonna have trouble moving it. Whereas Nevada sold out of all weed in the state in the first like few hours. And it went legal there. So it's really odd. So it's going to have to be this whole thing about, trafficking over state borders is still going to be a big lucrative business for those guys. And that's never going to go away essentially or effectively. But I don't want to like open a dispensary necessarily. Like I wouldn't mind like being like a partner in someone's dispensary or, investing into stock.
Like a cultivator?
I'm
Like
not good with any of that shit. Like, I know nothing about cultivating or nothing about farming or nothing else like that. I mean, I've got 1.3 acres of property that I could probably grow a fair amount of pot on, but I have a feeling my neighbor would come over and steal it and try to smoke it.
So Mundane Buds isn't particularly in the future.
No, it's not. It's not. I'm not going to open my own business with it, but I wouldn't mind investing. But the thing is, though, like my plans on investing into this were all, basically set around, the apocalypse not happening and then having the spare money to do that.
I'm saying you could be a hell of a spokesman for this. Like, I don't know, you've angled to try to get in a good spot with someplace. I think you'd be a great spokesman.
I could probably go talk to a local dispensary and be like, I have an audience.
Yeah, you're not a lazy guy. You're clean cut looking dude. I mean, you're about to be a family man.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, like, you are not the typical.
So Tonka wants to make Monday Matt the poster boy?
I'm just
I'm not like I don't think I'm the right person for the poster boy. Be
Maybe
like,
not
I
like
don't
the
smoke
poster
weed,
boy,
but
but
I
a
totally
decent
sell.
So, but we
spokesman.
think so.
A decent spokesman for a place that sells some pot. I'm just saying.
I mean,
Look,
honestly, out
you're
of all those states I
still-
just mentioned, the one that caught me by surprise was New York City. New York.
Stop and frisk is gonna take a hit.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Are they still
But
doing
New
that?
York back in the yeah, they still do that. Only if you're Latino and black.
Mm.
If you're a white guy, you get a pass.
I did not say that. See, here's what's weird. I used to work for a guy who actually was on the NYPD, and he
Okay.
employed me. He let me continue to work for him, and I would talk so much shit to him when bad shit happened. Like if I disagreed with it. Not every time did I disagree, but for instance, let's choke the guy to death on the side. This could have been handled better. You don't understand. This could have been handled better. You don't understand. Like that's all that we did back and forth. But he put all that aside. So I got all the respect in the world for that fucking guy.
I mean,
But
I'll
it
be
still
honest
could have
with you,
been handled better.
I grew up in the Northeast, and we got caught a few times driving around hot boxing the car, and usually they tell you throw it out, keep it moving, and that was it.
Well,
So I always thought it was kind of legal.
Pot's not a hot ticket up there, really, is it?
Not really. I mean, not unless you're driving around with a pound or two in the car.
Like especially
And
like
really-
when you were about that, they were fucking like cocaine's a fucking problem, and like shit was
Dude,
like a
when
real
I-
problem around that time.
When I was that age, there was the hottest ticket was chocolate Thai. That came from, I don't know, Hawaii, some lava rocks or some, I don't know. Nowadays, you got this stuff that, purple mango, kush, all this other stuff. They take 2 tokes and you pass out.
Why do people name weed after shit that nobody wants to taste? Like diesel. Like you
There-
want to
there you
smoke
go.
some diesel? No, that sounds like you'll die.
Mhm.
Yeah, but
I
there
can
will
see
be
somebody
some
just
kid out
putting-
there that will try it.
No, of
And
course.
think about it though. If you name it diesel and they're like, "Yo, let me get some diesel," it might actually stop kids from huffing diesel because they all know that it's a pot reference, not an actual gasoline. Or
All right.
fuel.
Oh,
Well,
no,
I
that's
mean,
probably
this
not
could
gonna work
also
at all.
get
People are
you.
dumb and they'd go and huff diesel.
I was gonna say this could get into a weird situation where you agree to get some diesel, and all of a sudden you're huffing diesel fuel.
I go to put gas in the truck at the gas station. I got to beat the kid off the pump.
We're backing. This is gonna be bad. Just backing people into a horrible corner.
Oof.
Well, I don't know. There are worse things than the names that get thrown out for drugs. I still think that the worst name for a drug, angel dust, because I still don't know what that is. But I remember it was a thing. Like,
PCP.
is that what that was?
Yeah.
PCP?
Yeah, it's
PCP,
PCP.
yeah.
It just named, it was like the name they just gave it to make it sound less like PCP and more like something more appropriate. It was just a marketing tool, I think.
Yeah. Yeah. It's basically like ecstasy and MDMA.
Yeah.
I just
But
remember
all the
hearing about
stories
it.
from
but
the
I had no
90s
idea.
of people high on angel dust and like
I do.
off like 15 cops.
Yeah, like you could shoot them, you could electrocute them, you could stab them, like put a fucking axe in their head. I ain't give a shit. The stories
called
that
it,
would
like,
come out about it.
The Jason
Fucking
drug.
do what?
They should have just called it the Jason drug at that point. Shot him, axed him, stabbed him.
Well, I'm trying to think if there was a story that was like it really stood out about this shit. Like really stood out. Like some dude took a lot of shit. Like they shot him and all kinds of shit. And he finally fell down, but it was after a ridiculous amount. And I remember being like, wow, that's like he's like a super villain at that point. But I hope
It only
nobody
took 6
smart
cops
gets a hold
to
of
take
that
out
shit.
Rodney King. So.
Well, Rodney King, they was it Rodney King? He wasn't high on
Yeah,
PCP. He was drunk. If I recall.
He was. I thought he was on some kind of hallucinogen.
Hold on. Was Rodney King on drugs?
He had
Yeah,
me
he
on.
was.
Didn't do nothing.
Oh, okay. It says he was arrested on drug charges, but that was from August 29th. I thought he was dead.
August 29th of this year.
No, he died. He died 5 years ago.
Oh Jesus! I was about to say we're not.
Let's see here. High speed chase. Okay.
Overdose.
I don't remember what killed him. I didn't necessarily care either. No, I like when he died. I was like,
he
well,
He was far beyond his relevance. Drowned in a pool.
It ain't drowned in a pool. Yeah.
Jesus.
Jeez.
Was it from the lawsuit money that he got from getting beat?
No, he bought. Yeah, I mean, he had bought a, I think bought a house. He got a lot of money out of that. Didn't he get like 12 million or something?
I think so.
Oh, he got paid.
It was up there. It was a
No,
nice payday.
they awarded him 3.8 million.
Jesus.
For 3.8 million, I let 6 cops beat the shit out of me for 20 minutes. I don't have a problem with that.
Was it 20 minutes?
They found him lying at the bottom of his swimming pool.
Jeez.
Don't make any jokes about that, all right?
I didn't say nothing.
I said nothing.
Tonka. Don't.
Okay, so what it was is Rodney King wasn't drunk. Well, it says that he would be busted for driving under the influence, but it doesn't say if he was drunk or if he was on something. Because if he got pulled over, he would have been the arrest would have violated his parole for a previous robbery conviction.
Oh.
So let's see. So then, I mean, like if you look at the video footage, they're hitting him in the wrists and the ankles to try to subdue him, and he just won't stay the fuck down. I mean, they tased him and he didn't stay the hell down, And so if you just look at, like him not staying down, like the cops are just trying to get him down and shit. I mean,
He's got fucking superpowers.
You've got superpowers, and oh, okay. The officers later testified they believed he was under the influence of PCP, although his toxicology tested negative for the drug. So he wasn't high on PCP. That motherfucker was just up on adrenaline.
He got fucking hyped.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that's an ass whooping and a half. $3.8 million worth of ass whooping.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, but see, then again, people sit there and they say, like, you look at the whole Michael Brown situation too, similar situation in terms of, I believe, the adrenaline spike. Michael Brown was
adrenaline. It's a hell of a thing.
From the strong arm robbery. Minutes later, it was like 3 minutes later or something, he encountered Darren Wilson. Adrenaline hadn't gone down. It respikes. And then when he got shot and he turned around and went back towards the cop, his adrenaline was still spiked. So he's just not, feeling anything. And then he was shot and killed. So that's, people don't like to ever look at adrenaline as a factor.
Adrenaline's real as fuck, dude.
Yeah.
I broke my foot and I like finished like another 10 minutes in a match because I was like, oh god, there's a bunch of people watching me.
Well, the whole fight or flight thing comes into play too with the cops. So they can't say adrenaline isn't.
You can't say that adrenaline isn't, like, even if you haven't seen these situations on tape, go and watch a fight or some shit. Just watch those guys in like an MMA fight or some shit. Adrenaline's real. Like, you'll see guys who, like, they'll break their arm and they'll keep trying to fight, and the ref will be like, wait, your arm's fucking broke, bro. We're stopping this real quick. Like, wasn't it a Silva that got his leg broke or his arm broke? Oh yeah, his leg snapped when he kicked somebody in the leg. Yeah. No, that was what's his name? No, there was another guy. Anderson Silva threw a leg kick at Chris Weidman, and his shin just snapped around his leg. It was no, but there was another one that they got put in an arm bar or a leg lock, and they actually snapped their either elbow or shit, knee. That's happened plenty of times. Pretty much anyone Husamar Paul Harris has ever fought, he just breaks their shit. You're supposed to try not to break it, but it's just how it is. But if you break, just the way that it goes is, if you watch any of those things, fighting like boxing, MMA, on a lower level pro wrestling, just because when you have that many people watching you, you don't want to stop doing, which it's a lot of pressure, and the adrenaline does kick in on that. But people will more associate it toward the MMA kind of thing. And you'll see adrenaline will kick the fuck in. Watch Misha Tate when she wrestled Ronda Rousey on the ground. You want to see what adrenaline will do? That girl turned into like some kind of like reversal expert trying to get out of things, and her arm broke, and she still wouldn't give up. Like, that's I remember that fight. Like, adrenaline is real as fuck. I think she broke her arm in both of their fights. Jesus. I know there was one fight that she had Ronda Rousey in a really bad position where I thought Ronda Rousey's whole top was going to come off. That's Liz Carmouche, actually. She was up on top of her, about to twist her the top of her body off. That was her first UFC title fight. But again, that was a thing where probably Ronda Rousey was very nervous. The girl she was going against was nervous as hell, and she ended up tapping out quick. It's just what happens. Adrenaline does weird things to you. Bright lights do weird things to you. A better example of this, there was something that happened when I was a kid. I remember Connie Chung doing a report on it. Some woman big car wreck, went down a giant fucking hill, but she carried her baby up to the top of the hill and flagged the car down. By the time they get to the hospital, she can't even walk anymore. She had broke her back. But adrenaline kicked in. Got to protect the baby. Got to get up this hill. Got to get this done. We could die down here. Got to kick shit into gear. Adrenaline will do crazy shit to you.
Yeah.
Makes me wonder if that point in time, and this is just a random thought I had in my head, if she was sitting there while she's trying to get that baby, she's just like singing like the Pokemon theme song, just pump herself up, I gotta be the very best, like no one ever was.
What's weird?
Dun 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 dun.
Have you ever had songs playing in your head when you're doing something, and it's like, wow, I'm pumping myself up? And
yes, when I play video games, like there was one time, I don't know, like I was listening to, I was playing Gears of War when it first came out on the 360, like 11 years ago almost. And I was listening to, I forget who it was. I think it might've been Rage Against the Machine or something. You know how it is. That will get you pumped up, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm listening to like Rage, and then the beat kicks on. I'm like, yeah. And I just get into it, and like I slaughter everyone in the game. Like just brutally murder everyone. And I'm all like, that was the best 2 minutes of my gaming life that no one ever saw.
But that also happens because no one's looking. You're all of a sudden fucking awesome.
Yeah, I know, right? It's like I get like that. If I'm doing something and I'm good at it, like the second I acknowledge that I'm doing it well, or that I'm doing it at all, I fuck the entire thing up.
You have to. It's weird. You do really well when you go into autopilot. Damn it! I have the same issue. Ruins my everything. Especially if I ever try to show people I'm any good at a fucking video game.
Yeah, it's like people sit there and
ruining everything.
Like when I'll write like I get in the zone, right? If I can get myself in that zone, I'll crank out 20 pages of screenplay in 2 hours. Ooh. Which is insane. And then like it's hard to get back. That's why that movie Limitless, right? I would love that drug.
Oh hell yeah!
Give me that drug, and allow me just to do this shit at full speed.
What's the drug from Limitless?
Basically, it unlocks every part of your mind.
Oh.
So it allows you to just like unlock every part of your brain and just focus. Okay. If you want to study something, you will be able to learn it, in a couple days, if not almost instantaneously. You will absorb all the information and have it 100% at your disposal.
Jesus.
It's like basically it's like
behind this movie with Lucy, where she heard that movie named Lucy.
Yeah, that was more based around string theory than anything else. But yeah, I get you. No, Lucy was really good until the very end. Then what the fuck?
I agree.
Yeah, then it was Lucy meets Matrix.
That's what happens when you put PCP in your stomach.
Yeah, like that was an interesting movie because it came out and everyone's like, this movie did really well. It's like, yeah, people went to go see it like the opening weekend, and then it was like not much after that, Like, why is it people went to go see Lucy in droves, but Scarlett Johansson starred in Ghost in the Shell, and like no one went to go see it?
That was a pretty good movie, Ghost in the Shell.
I liked it. It wasn't bad.
I didn't see it.
I liked it as well.
Was it faithful to the story, or was it?
These are adaptations. They're never faithful. You have to just,
right.
That's the whole thing. That's the shittiest part of it. Like I saw The Dark Tower last week, and everyone's like, "This movie sucked," and I was like, "Yeah, it might suck." I went and saw it. My girlfriend and I were like, "That was actually pretty good." It was short, but it was entertaining.
I want to see it. I want to see it so bad.
I was a little bit concerned that it's only 95 minutes long, and I had 20 minutes of previews.
Jesus.
But then again, though, it had 20 minutes of previews because there was an extended preview for It.
Ooh.
Which I got there just in time to see the extended preview of It, and I was all like, "Oh, I am so fucking sold on this movie."
Okay, so you
I was sold
are liking what you see. All right, I've not looked too much into the It movie. What's everybody's take on the It movie? That seems to be a pretty sexy topic that we haven't touched on ever.
Well, it's an adaptation of Stephen King's book that was originally it was previously a TV miniseries from back in 1990, starring Jonathan
was a movie
Brandis and
previously
John
as well.
Ritter. And the original was good. Tim Curry as Pennywise was fantastic.
Oh my
Yeah.
god, that
That's
is
going.
like-
That's going to be their main problem, in my opinion.
The thing is though, I agree, but then I saw so I love Tim Curry as Pennywise, even though according to fans of the book, he wasn't the most faithful adaptation of the character, but he brought it. Tim Curry brought it.
Oh
in the
yeah.
role. And if you ask people like, oh, what's your favorite Tim Curry role? A lot of people might say Frankenfurter. I'm like fucking Pennywise.
I get shit because I
The
say
Darkness.
the King of
Okay.
Darkness from Legend.
Thank you.
Yeah. Fuck
Okay,
yeah, man. I
okay.
was just
That's always,
like-
and
I was
people
just
always
there.
overlook that too. They always overlook Legend.
Is
But-
that not a glorious fucking horror?
It's a
That is one of-
weird fucking movie, but I will take.
That
Neil
movie had
Ferrer
a
from the
budget
Legend
for
any day.
glitter.
When I was a fucking kid, I used to watch movies and they would show Satan, right? And I would be like, oh, that's kind of fucking weak. But then I'm watching this movie, Legend, no mention of Satan anywhere on the box. And all of a sudden, fucking Tim Curry's fucking Satan rendition comes out. And I'm like, that's fucking horrifying. The teeth,
Yeah.
the way they made his
Yeah.
face move, the gargantuan goddamn horns, the
His
fact that
creepy
he was
obsession with
massive.
a young girl.
That was a thing too.
Yeah, that film.
Just
That film, my God.
Yeah, that was back when
the
Ridley Scott
practical
was actually
effects. That's the other thing. It's practical. It's practical effects, and they're
That
great.
is why I got into doing practical effects. It's just so much fucking fun. My God.
Yeah, they did a great job with that movie, and plus, yeah, Tim Curry as Satan was fantastic, and Ridley Scott also did a good job directing a fantasy film.
Mm-hmm.
This is not incorrect. I don't know. Tom Cruise is like this weird fantasy hero dude.
You know,
Didn't
what?
do a bad
it's actually
job.
my favorite Tom Cruise movie. Like, it's
Yeah.
my favorite role of his because he's kind of a fucking idiot.
Weird fact about that one. Most people are like, "What happened to that cute bitch from the Ferris Bueller movie?" Well, Mia Sarah was in this movie,
Mm-hmm.
getting saved by
Last time I
Tom
saw Mia
Cruise. and
Sarah in was Time Cop.
She was in Time Cop. Yeah. I just always see her and I'm like, "Hey, it's Ferris Bueller's girlfriend."
No, what what my favorite Tom Cruise movie is Edge of Tomorrow.
Yes.
That movie's fucking amazing. That movie's fucking amazing. And like
I
I
hate
just
Tom Cruise. I hate Tom Cruise, but that movie was great.
I can't they're doing a sequel.
Mm.
Failure sounds like the principal giving the afternoon announcements right now.
Yeah, and here's the announcement. Preview is over. Go watch on Brother Fail's mainstream. Here's the link. Everybody go watch.
Oh yeah, you're doing
watch
the
it.
preview
Yeah.
thing again. I
Oh.
I'm
forgot.
doing the Samuel cast. Yeah, there you go. So fucking free ride is over, motherfuckers. Go ride.
Free ride is over.
Right is
Oh
over.
shit! God damn it!
Later.
I'm so confused right now.
Failure.
we're-
Taylor is doing
I'm
a preview of this stream through OBS on his channel.
Oh.
I'm trying to give Brother Fail a little boost for my
Trying to
Oh,
channel.
I
Give him
see.
the
I see.
rub.
You're okay. I see. That's good, man. That's good. That's good.
As previously stated, I'm the budget version of failure.
The Dollar Tree, the great value, if you will.
Yeah, he's still a normie. He's still a noob. Yeah.
The Costco of broadcasters.
Oh, there's
I had to go give him my microphone because yeah, I sound like crap now, but he sounded worse.
Damn.
Well, hold on, Matt. You saw this preview. What sold you on this fucking Pennywise?
What
Is it-
the
did it
Pennywise? It
More
was.
close to the or to the book, or that it's the guy?
Well,
What got
I've
it?
honestly never read the book, so I only know about it from the miniseries and what my friends have told me over the years.
Mhm.
I bought the book when I was younger, like after seeing the miniseries, but that book is long as shit.
Yeah,
It is a long
And-
motherfucker.
And King can sometimes be a little bit too.
the scripty.
Yeah, and in that book, I got through I think the first like 20 pages or something, and I'm like, God damn, get to the fucking point.
He likes
You
to
know.
talk, doesn't he?
But then again, I was also
Describing.
I was younger. I was a lot younger, and it's kind of like Michael Crichton got a little bit descriptive, but he also kind of kept it moving. The pacing was good.
Yeah.
That's Stephen King's problem, brother. He doesn't know what the fuck a pace is.
Exactly. And then it's also like, but I have read Robert Jordan, so I also understand now when I'm an adult that descriptive nature can get a little bit overbearing at times.
Mhm.
Long in the tooth, if you will.
Yes, a little long in the tooth.
Description good, over description boring.
Yeah. You know, I don't really care about like what type of metal the rivets on someone's armor, you know,
Yeah.
like I get you're trying to paint me a picture, but please stop jizzing all over your descriptive nature. You know, just get me to the point. That's why people like movies. They're quick to the point, you know.
Mhm.
But no, I need to go back and I need to actually give it a shot and read it. But I'm also holding off until seeing the movie. What sold me on it though was it was a whole opening sequence with Georgie and the boat and the drain, you know, and it felt very much kind of shot for shot like the miniseries.
Mhm.
But the conversation with Pennywise
It
in
had
the
a different
drain,
tone.
it went on for like a solid like 2-3 minutes. And that was a bit long in the tooth. I will say that. I'm like, kind of get to the point, you know, but it's also establishing Pennywise as this like, you know, he's not like kind of like cotton candy and bubble gum with like the darkness behind it. It's he kind of does it. It's creepy, but then he'll drop it down to this kind of like, you know, scary nature and everything. And it was good. It was definitely a good take on it. They didn't show us anything jump scare related. It was just more of setting the tone, and the tone felt well.
And this guy, you think he's going to do a good Pennywise?
Yeah.
I really do. I don't know how many people watched the Netflix series Hemlock Grove.
I got through like 2 episodes and I turned it
The
off.
dude who plays the vampire kid.
Yeah.
He's
Oh,
a-
I mean, Bill Skarsgård. Yeah.
Yeah. He's actually a really good actor. And I just kind of have faith that he's actually going to be able to bring his own thing to it.
See, I'm worried
It makes
about
me
that.
excited.
Sometimes I don't want people
And-
to bring their own things to things.
Well, I mean,
And
not
you guys actually
by
think it's going to
bring
be
their
better?
own
The
thing,
second
I
one is going to be better
not
than the
going
first?
to try and mimic Tim Curry.
I don't know if it's going to be better, but I don't think that should be their aim either. How about that? I don't think it should be their thing.
Well, I think they're trying to distance themselves from the original, but they're also
I think that's a good idea.
they're also pulling part of the what is it? They're pulling from it as well as a way I think to draw audiences in. But they're saying that the movie should be opening anywhere between 50 and 60 million when it comes out, which is insanely huge for a September opening.
That's boy,
And part of that, in my opinion, is not so much to do with the fact that it is it. It's the fact that it was also coming in after Annabelle Creation, which did very well for a very small budget. And it
I was going to
also
say, do you
feels-
not think they're mistaking it for an October release? Like, this feels like it should have been October.
It feels like it should be an October release. Absolutely. I mean, Friday the 13th is this year. There was supposed to be a new Friday the 13th movie this year, but Paramount canceled it before it went into production. And so they were, there's nothing happening. But yeah, no, they should have definitely. I think having that come out Friday the 13th would be good. But I think they also realized that there's not much in September for competition. You've got September 8th is it, and then September 22nd is Kingsman: The Golden Circle, which I have no idea why the hell that movie is coming out in September.
I'm just gonna assume that Monday Matt is like the film connoisseur of the group.
Monday, he is the bunch of shit. He watches a lot of media. I don't really fuck with a lot of media anymore, but Matt watches.
I'm
the
into movies, but he got me covered.
No, he does.
I do run another channel called $3 Theater that I do movie news on there.
Not terrible.
And
I'm talking to Cisco Lieber over here.
I've worked in movie theaters for like over, for I don't know, like probably say at this point maybe about 1/3 of my life I've worked for movie theaters. So
Definitely
I used to
film
live in Hollywood and work in, I did some work in the industry, not a great deal, but I did some. Like, have any of you guys heard of that movie Devil's Pass?
Devil's Pass, I've heard of.
It was.
It
It's kind
sounds
of like
familiar.
ever heard of
About the Russian thing?
Dyatlov Pass incident.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, so on Netflix right now, and I'm pretty sure it's still on Netflix. there's a movie on there called Devil's Pass, which is kind of like it's a point of view found footage movie where a group of students from the University of Oregon head up there to the pass in order to retrace the footsteps of the group that went missing and uncover the mysteries of what happened.
Mhm.
Right.
Oh yeah, I have seen that.
Okay, so yeah, I worked on that.
Oh, nice.
Well, all I did, I was
Really?
brought in to handle their social media, right? That was originally what I was brought in. Well, what I was brought in for was to do social media for another project, and then they said, "Oh, hey, can you come meet with, can you how would you like to do? So, how would you like to meet with everybody and talk about social media?" And I'm all like, "Yeah, all right." So I went into the boardroom and I had like the head of the company and all the production, the producers and shit there. And we talked for like an hour and a half about movies. And this was like, this again is like 5 years ago. And I'm like, oh yeah. And then they called me up the next day and they said, hey, we're working on this movie called Devil's Pass. We're shooting it. We're going to be shooting it in 2 weeks in Russia. Can you take a look at the script? Can you give us any notes, or can you help us devise a viral marketing plan? So I'm like, yeah, all right. So I read the screenplay. I wrote like a 3-page viral marketing plan of things we could do to get things going. And they brought me in. And so the only contribution of mine that made it into the finished product was there's a news broadcast in Russia. And there's supposed to be this, the footage leaks on conspiraleaks.com, right? Mm-hmm. Like some wannabe WikiLeaks shit. And so my suggestion was, do a graphic of the website and then put it in there as an insert. And that was my suggestion. And that actually ended up being in the movie.
Sweet.
So that's my bit. Here's the thing too. I worked on it for 2 weeks. I was only paid like $140.
No.
Like, yeah, it was.
You get a credit.
I didn't even know. I didn't get any credit at all, period. Because
You got nothing.
They brought me in. So I went in there in March, right? I pitched this whole notion of behind the scenes footage we can release on the website, similar to what Cloverfield did. So they went out and they shot everything I suggested. They went out and they shot on site in Russia. And there was even talks of sending me to Russia to oversee these particular things.
Oh,
and
man.
I'm like, oh, fuck yeah. Like, I'll get a passport tomorrow. I'll go to Russia and be in this movie and shit, work on the shit. Right. And so that didn't happen because I think they had a budget of like 4 million or something. And so, but they still shot everything.
Format to Russia was just not in the budget.
Just wasn't in the budget. Yeah.
There was paying
me more than $12 an hour apparently wasn't in the budget. And so there's that, but I have all the behind the scenes footage on one of my hard drives, and everything. So I've still got all of this shit, and they wanted me to like edit it together and look at it and everything else. And then they brought me in, like they specifically set it up to where I was going to come into the office and they were going to screen the first cut of the movie for me. Right. So they brought me in and they screened the movie for me, which was such a cool experience to go into this, room in Studio City, 14th floor of the Wells Fargo building, overlooking the entire valley, and sit there by myself in an office and watch this movie that they wanted me to watch. And the movie I didn't think was very good, mostly because Rennie Harlin, who directed Die Hard 2 and Cliffhanger, he directed this movie as well. And so he's a good director, but he also doesn't understand how to direct these point of view found footages. And so I was about to
say, it's kind of a similar kind of setting and everything, but the style of film is totally different.
Yeah, so you definitely got to, you definitely gotta do that. You gotta understand it. He didn't understand it. Like even if you go back and watch it now, there's full on scenes where the camera doesn't move for like 3 to 4 minutes, and people are just talking, and you're like, you should be moving it around. You should cut to something else. Like parts of this should
definitely. You definitely should get into the cannabis industry because I need to be high right now.
Probably. Well, and then to kind of wrap up the story, they asked me my opinions, and I gave them what I actually thought, which is not what they wanted.
Oh no!
Because the next day they called me and they fired me.
Oh.
So
hence why you didn't go to Russia.
Are you allowed to say what the opinion was that they did not like?
I don't know exactly which opinion that it was. I basically told them like my thoughts. I'm like, I think this runs on too long. I think this needs to be changed. I think you could cut this down a little bit. And I told them, I'm like, the concept is there. It's pretty cool. This is what I would do. What I would do. And then the next day they called me up and they said, well, we've decided to go another direction. We're no longer going to be doing any kind of viral marketing. So we thank you for your time, and hopefully, we can work with you again. They never called me again. I ran into one of the producers.
Be honest with us, suck our dicks.
Basically, yeah. And I was like, and then I told that to my roommate, and he's like, yeah, you're never honest with these people. I'm like, apparently, yeah,
That's
you
so
can't
unfair.
be. And the thing is, the movie came out, and the movie went straight to Netflix. Right?
Yep.
They released it in Russia because they had a lot of financing from Russia. And they got their money from Russia, essentially. So they released it there. The movie made the $4 million back in Russia. They didn't even release it here in the United States. They just dropped it straight to DVD, and then it didn't even like spend time on DVD before going to Netflix. It just went instantly to Netflix.
See, what I didn't really like about that movie was they had like this build up of them going to find something very interesting, and then when they find it, you just kind of roll your eyes.
Well,
like,
I mean,
really?
the twist I thought was cool, where because it was all about
I didn't love or hate the twist. I mean, I feel like that's pretty much where they had to go with it if they were going to show something, right?
Yeah, they essentially that was about it. Like their twist, and I don't want to say what it is because
I'm trying to not spoil.
I'm trying to not spoil
Yeah,
it.
so I mean, like the idea there is that it has a lot to do with it takes this weird kind of sci-fi-esque turn. But then again, looking at what they were
The
tying
actual
into,
story, though.
the actual story, I think they were trying to I think the guy who wrote it was trying to fit in this Phoenix project or the Phoenix experiment or whatever the hell it's called. No, Phoenix project. Trying to tie that into this, which was cool. And also maybe make it a little X-Files-y at the same time. But then it was like there should have been more information at the end or in the lead up to the end that would then justify the end.
Right.
Like, why are they finding the certain things that they're finding that doesn't make a lot of sense?
See, when it came to the twist, I wasn't actually surprised for the sole reason the Netflix release
Spoiled it.
Those little clips.
Yep.
The little picture clips. They did a picture clip of the twist.
Yep.
And I'm watching it,
Right.
and I'm like, when does this happen? And then I realized, oh, that was the surprise.
Yeah, they did that.
I probably
They
would
did
have
that
liked
in there.
it more
Oh.
if they hadn't spoiled it already.
Yeah, that was the thing
Sucks.
that I saw when because I mean I'd already read the screenplay, so I already knew what was going to happen. I mean, plus I'd already seen like the first cut of the film, and so like but when I go to watch it finally on Netflix, there was that, and so I mean I was like I watched the movie and I didn't hate the movie. I was disappointed that my influence couldn't have been greater because I feel I probably would have helped make it a better film.
I don't think it was a terrible movie, but to be honest, I think what actually happened at the Dyatlov Pass, I think that's actually far scarier than what the movie was.
Yeah.
Like, that's a way creepier scenario just because of so much unknown and so much barbarism.
Mm-hmm.
It's a good way to put it. Like, that shit was nasty, guys.
It was savage.
Just letting you know.
In the chat right now in the sidebar of the Hangout, I'm going to post the link to my feature film. So this is also a point of view found footage called In Search Of. I don't know if you guys have seen this
Really?
yet.
No, I have not seen your movie.
I shot this 7 years ago. It's the only feature film that I finished. I've done another one, but it's the only one that I finished. And this one is about a guy who answers a dating ad on Craigslist that's a riddle.
Mm-hmm.
And he gets back a GPS coordinate with a note saying, "Come find me." So he tells his best friend, who happens to be me, because I play the best friend in the movie.
Oh, shit.
And so we go off in search of this girl. And then we kind of, the further down the rabbit hole we get, we start to ask ourselves whether or not she's alive.
Okay. All right.
And so-
Here's the question. Before we go any further, do you or do you not think that your movie is better than Steve Shive's movie? Go.
Oh, I think my movie is 100% better than Steve Shive's movie.
Oh,
Bam.
I'm definitely giving this a
We
ding
shot
for it.
this.
I would have
Fuck
watched
him.
it either way, Matt, but I'm
Bullshit.
definitely watching it now.
Bullshit. That Steve Shives movie had a great devil in it. All right.
I should
Wasn't
totally
Jason
do that
Lee
tonight for my
knockoff?
stream. Just fucking stream my movie.
Dude, stream your fucking movie.
Just go. We're gonna watch In Search of and watch it with an audience. I still like the movie. I mean, it's not perfect. It's only 72 minutes long. It's a little shorter than I wanted. You know, it's a literally only me and my in real life best friend in the movie. But I think I'm able to craft an interesting story with an interesting twist.
Right.
Good. I want to watch that.
We shot the thing for less than $500.
Nice.
In 2 days. You know, and
Nice.
so
Have you put it
like
out there before?
I'm sorry, what?
Have you put it out there before?
I
Has
took
anybody?
it to the American film market in 2012. And I gave screener copies to a bunch of different people. And the general response I got back was, it looks like you had a lot of fun making this movie with your friends. Because these are people that don't operate in like the point of view found footage.
Okay,
Right.
here's what I hate. I actually like found footage movies. Fuck everybody who's about to be
I
like,
love them.
"Ugh."
I fucking love them.
I love it. There's so
I
much
like
you
when-
can
I
do
like
with
when
it that
it's
no one's
done
fucking with.
well.
I just hate the over shaky cam thing.
No,
That's-
we
that's
we
becoming
actually-
overused
We
shit.
actually made that a thing not to do. So we treat this more like a documentary rather than like you know, there's a couple scenes where it gets a little bit shaky, but for the most part though, it's you know, it's kind of like, I guess you could call it like a mumblecore film.
But if you want to make a real found footage film, just film it all in vertical.
Ooh. Found
Would
in a
that-
local McDonald's.
Yeah, would that trigger you, Vamp? An
That
entire
would trigger me.
2-hour film filmed in
two- Like a minute long video? Sure,
Yeah.
why not? I don't care.
And would it
a
annoy you if
full feature
halfway
Oh,
if halfway through all of a sudden they turned the phone around but it was still in vertical, so to actually see what's happening
you'd have to
your hand
turn.
just-
Oh my god, failure! I'm gonna mute you.
That's
I'm gonna
I'm
make
talking.
that-
This hurts.
I'm gonna make that movie for you. 2-hour movie, all filmed in vertical, found footage.
Ugh.
Oh god,
God damn it.
failure's trying to kill what little of soul I have left.
Well,
Come on, Matt. Wouldn't that be a good film right there?
Go die in a fucking fire.
Thank you,
that's
Matt.
just so bad. I'm gonna have to go.
That is
kill
that's
myself.
that is
see you guys in
horrible.
the afterlife.
Okay, we're making a movie, not World Star Hip Hop. All right,
World Star.
World Star Hip Hop the movie.
World
that's just
Star the
90 minutes
movie.
of people yelling out World Star.
World
That's
Star.
why I'm jumping in front of a truck.
Come on, you wouldn't like that if it turned into just a horror movie.
Well, I think you guys might wanna watch my movie for how not to do in movies, but
I'm gonna watch the fuck out of your movie.
it's only 72 minutes. It's really short. So
I don't mind. Here's a question, like on filmmaking, that has kind of caught me by surprise. Are you familiar with Crypt TV?
with Crypt TV,
Yeah.
I'm familiar with it. I'm not.
How the fuck are they putting out a new short film from someone every single day, sometimes 2 or 3? And it's on YouTube now, and we know nobody's making money or anything. Like, where the fuck is this doing anything for anyone? I don't get it.
Well, wow, this is pretty cool actually. I'm on their website right now. It's like what they're showing looks pretty. These are, well, it looks like they're trying to just find, what's their about? I can find their about or something, and then
They've
get an
got new
idea for what they
shit every
do.
fucking day.
Well, they've got
very impressive.
2.6 million fans on Facebook. Okay, well, their website gives me absolutely no fucking information about them.
Their YouTube channel's impressive. It's just popped up, and it's already doing what the fuck it's gonna do, and it is raking in people. It's essentially like what the old story No Sleep Readers, the creepypasta people, is what they were doing, but
Yeah.
in video every day.
Well, it's a good idea because the creepypasta is copyrighted now, so you can't say it.
What?
Yeah, it got copyrighted. It's fucking horseshit, but let's see. What the fuck is it? So is there about? All right. What's
I
their
have to bother you
Now-
about that one day too.
Quick question: with all these films we were involved with, all these films, who name drop? Give me something. Give me a big name.
I didn't work with a lot of huge people. I've worked with Doug Jones a number of times.
How many degrees of separation from Kevin Bacon?
I'm like 6, according to that thing you sent me.
No, you're like a what? You're a 3.
Am I 3?
Yeah,
Nah.
because you were in a movie with this one guy that was in a movie with him.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. The movie that I'm in, you see like my calf. All right. Like we're on a movie set. We're shooting literally on one of the old Reaver ship sets from Firefly. It was being held in a studio on the north side of North Hollywood. So we shot on it for a day, and I was literally a grip on set. So my job was to, do all the grip work. And then they said, okay, we need people walking through the background. All right, all you grips, go move shit around in the background. I'm like, all right. So I did a grip in a movie, and then I was a grip that day. It's real meta. It's a real meta film.
Yep, Matt Jarbo is 3 degrees from Kevin Bacon.
Wow, that's cool, man.
We're 3, aren't we? 3 failure? Are we 3 or 4?
Because of failure.
Okay.
We're 4.
Are we 4?
Yeah, we're 4.
We're 4.
Because of
Failure 3.
Mm-hmm.
Failures 3. We are 4.
Now,
Matt
who
is
the hell owns Crypt TV? Are these guys like? Are they owned by somebody?
I can't figure out if they are geniuses making lots of money or if they're fucking schmucks making nothing.
Well, I don't know. I mean, they wouldn't do this if they had no money.
That's what I'm saying. Something's got to be working somewhere because I don't know. YouTube's not monetizing this, surely. Like they're gutting motherfuckers every day.
All I know is if I have to check my lotto tickets to see if I won. If I did win,
Crypt TV is owned by Eli Roth.
Okay, that makes sense.
It's a digital brand co-founded by Eli Roth and Jack Davis, and it was a series of short films that was going to premiere on Chiller Network. And this
Chiller
is from
backed
last
out
year.
And they said, "Fuck it," and they just went over to YouTube.
It looks like it, yeah. So that's where they're looking to. Okay, so what they're probably trying to do is Eli Roth will funnel money into it. Here we go. Jason Blum, Eli Roth backed Crypt TVs. Okay, so Jason Blum from Blumhouse, which has made billions of dollars, by the way. Like the Purge movies, the Conjuring movies, the Paranormal Activity movies, all came from Blumhouse. So they do really, really, really low budget shit. So what they're probably doing is they're paying for these short films to be made, and like you're talking a couple thousand each one or something like that. So cheaper than putting out whatever. And then hoping that they think of it like the short film Lights Out, where it became an actual horror movie last summer.
Yeah,
Same
there's
concept.
some of them that have sequels and have gotten longer in length.
Yeah,
so I imagine they are trying to build something off of some of the ones.
It also looks like here, according to Tube Filter, Full Screen is teaming with Crypt TV to produce Afterlife horror series following a pitch competition
for YouTube Red.
So it's just rich dudes making or producing stuff.
Yeah, this is more actual celebrities coming to YouTube to try to grab money. So they're going to get money.
And they're also doing this too. It's a 5-episode series of the show Afterlife. That each episode is 7 minutes long. So you're looking at it's going to be a 30-minute short film. And what they're probably going to do is submit these short films, these anthologies or whatever, will go to like Chiller. So they'll do a season of Crypt TV, and each episode will be a different 30-minute short film, which will then be able to get the advertising money from being on TV like that or whatever the fuck. And then they'll be able to go from there. So they're probably starting off digitally, building the brand, and then expanding it slowly by going to Chiller TV or by making this this online content. And if it goes viral, if one of these things goes viral, then they can go to backers, because through Blumhouse, probably get Blumhouse to greenlight a feature film and put that in theaters. Look at how they're turning The Conjuring into an expanded universe.
I'm just saying, don't let me win the lottery, because then we'll start a movie. It's gonna be a trilogy. And it's
man, I went on. Okay, so when I lived in LA, I went to the I auditioned to be on Minute to Win It. And you guys remember that game show at all?
I do.
So I had gone on there, and I had went on to do that. I auditioned, and we had to do the solo cup challenge, right? Like the pyramid cup challenge or whatever. And I did it the first time in a minute. I did it. But when they asked me what I would spend the money on, I said I would make a movie. I have to learn to lie in those situations, because they don't want you to say you'll make a movie. They want you to say you'll go on some dream vacation. They want you to say that you'll take your mother who's dying of leukemia you know, and prostate cancer, and take her on some
they
cruise
want a good
somewhere.
story.
You know, they want you to sell them on a story, and for some reason, I never think that way. So it gets me in more trouble more often.
Your
than
first
not.
instinct is to be honest. Fuck
Yeah.
you, right?
I know, fuck me for being honest, goddammit. But yeah, so that's the whole thing. I was like, whereas my roommate was a lying sack of shit and is now a fucking union camera op. So, you know, go figure on that one.
Nah, he knew what to do.
Yeah, he knew how to bullshit. We'd go to these events and he'd tell people, I did this thing. Right. I'm all like, you didn't do that. You were just a camera operator on it. Well, I mean, I worked on it. It's a colloquial thing. I'm like, no. Doing it means you either fronted the money, you directed it, or you starred in it. Right. It doesn't mean you just pushed record.
But he did push record, though.
He pushed record so he can say he worked on it, but you can't sit there and assign. It's saying I did this essentially means ownership of it, you know, where I can say like, you know, in the way of that. So it's like, I might say, you know, like I did In Search Of, but I worked on End of the Road, or I worked on these web series. And even in passing, I might say I did this, but it's never meant to be an ownership thing. With my roommate, it was always an ownership thing, because that's okay. He took credit one year. I did a short film. I wrote a short film for a 40-hour film competition. We ended up winning a couple awards because it was surprisingly funny. And then the next year he was on our team, and then he says, "Oh yeah, last year we did this." Right.
Okay. But he wasn't on the team.
He wasn't on board. Cause he had, you know, he didn't come on board for that. And I'm all like, you didn't do anything. And he's all like, well, I meant colloquial, you know, but then that's what happened a lot when we were in LA. He would say that like, oh, I did this, but imply as to be like he was one of the key people involved.
I hate that.
Me too.
Yeah, they aren't there when it happens, but the first fucking chance to take some credit, boy, they show the fuck up.
Okay.
Your roommate sounds like a dick. Thank you.
Yeah, he was one of my best friends until shit all fell apart. But yeah.
Did you bag tag him?
Nah, like what happened was him and my girlfriend, we all moved to LA together. We got a 2-bedroom apartment, you know, and just we were there for a couple years. I think about a year and 2 years. You know, over 2 years and shit. And then what it was is he like never really held much of a job. The only reason why he could afford to go to LA was his father, who was embarrassed of him. I'm not even kidding you. Gave him $30,000 of his inheritance and bought him a car and bought him all the film gear he needed to get started in LA. And the thing is, my you know, he was good at what he did. You know, he learned everything very well and he's good at it. So I'm never going to knock his work, but his ethic of getting it done was always a little bit questionable. And so he would, you know, like he got all this money given to him. Right. And so like, then when we got to LA, he was then going off to work on all these jobs because he had the gear and I didn't have anything. And that's why I took a job working at the movie theater, is because I needed to work, and, you know, they don't pay you to write anything in Los Angeles. So it just, they're kind of,
so you basically had the talent. He had the gear.
Yeah, in that particular regard. And then he also shot In Search Of. So like, you know, that was his gear we used, and, you know, used it for free. So, you know, thank you to him for that one. But he basically was just able to get this. He got this leg up from his dad. And I always kind of felt like I didn't even have the credit to like, you know, like put money down on something myself to get the gear I needed. You know what I mean? Like it was just, it started to deteriorate the friendship. And a lot of that had to do with my girlfriend. A lot had to do with like the battling that they had over shit, because I was frustrated with him. And I think she kind of like showcased a little bit of that on him. And then he didn't make it any easier. Like he went out of town for 2 weeks and like left his dirty dishes in the sink a couple times. You know, we'd have to like ask him to like empty the trash out of his room because it'd start to smell. You know, and like things like that.
The movie theater gave you character. Like, if it wasn't for the movie theater, you would have never gotten to pick up bags of shit from the floor.
Yeah, bro, I've cleaned up a lot of shit from
and washed toilets at that point.
Oh, I've cleaned up more fucking condoms than I ever care to admit. One time by hand. That was
What kind of theater? What kind of theater were you in?
I spent a long time working at a drive-in movie theater. Not in LA. I worked at an actual indoor house in LA, but in San Diego I worked at a drive-in theater.
They're bringing their own back seat, for God's sake.
Yeah, people like to fuck. But
for what? $7.99 for the trip?
It was $9 a person at the theater to get in for 2 movies. People would go and do lots of sex.
Do the people in the trunk count?
I'm sorry, what?
I said, do the people in the trunk count?
We'd catch people in the trunk all the time. Those are always a lot of fun. Because they would try to deny it. We're like, no, we saw you. Give us money.
Okay, so you actually sit there and watch the cars as they park.
Yeah, I mean, like we'd have the people at the box office. The people at the box office would call it in. They'd be like, yeah, this is like, look at this car right here. Like, okay. So then we would sit there, we'd walk over and we'd watch the car come in and we watch the car park. And if the trunk opened or if the car started shaking or whatever, we'd also walk by and just kind of peek inside to see if we saw more people. And if we did, we would ask to see their ticket. And if they couldn't give us a ticket, we would say, look, we already know you paid for this many. You have this many. We need the money. And that's it. We would just take their money and then let them watch the movie. We're not going to kick them out over it. So
stop acting like everybody's as goofy as you are.
That was way too much control for a drive-in theater.
Oh, dude, we're fucking insane, dude. Like, I mean, I ran that shit tight when I was a manager there.
I could just see a bunch of guys on rollerblades rolling up with mag flashlights in the window. Like, what are you doing in there?
No, we never were that bad, but it was like, we didn't really have a lot to do once the movie started. So the best course of action for us was to look and see whether or not, people were sneaking anyone in. Then actually nowadays all the guys there sit there and they fucking, I swear to God, these dudes, they sit there, they smoke pot all night long. That's all they do, right? They smoke pot.
This makes sense.
They smoke a shit.
And we're back to the cannabis. See,
that's how it goes, man. That's full circle. That's the mundane Matt way.
All the way back around.
Always the pot. Actually, on that note, I do have to go. I should have taken off a while ago. I still have to record.
You're good, man.
So, but no, we'll do this again next time, and I'll talk to y'all.
It's been
later.
a pleasure.
Yeah, I'm gonna watch a movie and give you shit about it later.
You better watch a fucking movie.
Sure.
All right, later, guys.
Well, in other news, Brother Fail, can you turn off your mic there?
Your brother Fail, aren't you?
My brother.
Oh, your brother.
I'm Brother Fail, but yeah, my brother Fail. And in other news, did you hear about what the UN is telling the US?
What the fuck? What are they telling?
Yeah, US urged to unequivocally and unconditionally reject discrimination. Really? Like we haven't been trying that for the longest?
We have laws.
This is the UN here. Yeah, but obviously the UN has to step in because we don't know what we're doing. We have no clue.
We're not in the UN. Hey, shut the fuck up.
Well, they're referring to Charlottesville, and the BBC noted, the BBC noted that a father and son duo got stopped with about 5,000 ecstasy pills shaped like Trump, with the word carrot-colored ecstasy tablets shaped like Donald Trump's head, seized by the German police. Supposedly an estimated worth of about $47,000 in pills. Those were meant for Antifa. Maybe they would have mellowed out a little bit.
I mean, I didn't say it, but I would say it.
So, oh no, they definitely need something. And if those 10 states get approved for legalized recreational drugs or recreational pot, there we go.
Dude, if they start randomly just jumping around and fucking each other, is that really going to help anybody? I mean,
can you imagine
crazy ecstasy hyped Antifa in the streets?
Dude, it'll be Woodstock all over. Think about it. They're too high to do anything.
I'm so lost.
Don't know where to go with that?
I did not know where to go with that.
Well, I mean, I found it comical that they were shaped like Donald Trump's head.
Well, that took a lot of work.
That was ballsy.
Hey. Can you guys hear me?
Yes, we can.
Yes,
You
That
was here,
fucking
boy.
time. I've been talking the whole goddamn time.
I heard you like twice, but then you immediately went back out of being able to be heard, which made me sad.
I just wanted to come in and say $240 worth of pudding.
What?
$240 worth of pudding. Okay,
Yep.
refresh.
We need
I'll wait.
something. What?
Go ahead. No, share with us. I want to hear about $240 worth of pudding. That's a lot of pudding.
It's Barry and Levon. And if you don't know who that is, well, you just gonna have to look it up, I guess.
Okay.
How you guys don't know? Barry and Levon.
I mean,
Oh yeah. $240 worth of pudding. Oh yeah.
oh yeah.
You guys are missing shit, man. You remember The State on MTV?
The State on MTV.
Yeah, from the 90s.
Vaguely.
It's from that. But Barry and Levon were my fucking favorite. This ain't no couch. This ain't no sofa. It's a love seat.
Yeah, it was like a spin on the old what's this guy late night show? What was his name? Jesus, Carson. It was like a spin on Carson. It was like a parody.
No, it was a sketch show on MTV. It was The State. They're all up in all kinds of shit. Like they've been on every fucking channel doing all kinds of shit for like they're the people that did Reno 911.
Okay.
They're not terrible.
Them people. They're fucking funny. I just wanted to come in and say it because me and Vamp were talking about pudding wrestling or Jello wrestling.
Where is she? Why isn't she here to help you enlighten us on what you were both talking about? She takes a fucking dive all of a sudden now. What the fuck?
she's probably smoking.
I don't know. We were talking about American flag bikinis and Jello wrestling or pudding wrestling for charity, of course. You know, to make it seem more classier.
It's always classy for charity. Always classy.
Okay.
Depends on the charity.
For charity. See, made it classy.
Fucking, I don't know if we get to this. I don't know.
The charity of getting Monday Matt into the industry.
Well,
of cannabis.
We will have him sponsoring the event, but Failure wants to pull off some sort of event. I'm not sure on the specifics, but it'll be in a year, maybe 2 years. But he wants
what kind of event?
I don't know. He wants to book wrestling matches on it between certain people. So this one would
definitely
probably make the booking.
Oh, but I would so take her out. That's like she's little and squirrely, but I have a lower center of gravity.
I'm gonna tell you, call her a squirrel.
She is. You're tall and squirrely. I've seen you.
That's racist.
Well, get over it. Dude, I don't know how much y'all know, but Tonka used to be a wrestler, and for a big ass lanky motherfucker, he's quick. Usually them tall guys, they can't really move that fast because it takes all that extra time to get their long ass limbs where they need to go. He is like straight from point A to point B.
Wait a minute. How tall are you?
Who? Me?
No, I know how tall you are.
Okay.
Me, I'm 5'6".
This is 5'6". So any normal human being is taller than you. So any normal human being can't move.
Uh-oh.
Are you calling me little?
I think he's calling you little.
Not directly.
Calling me a little.
Not directly.
Not directly.
Oh, I will have you know that 5'6" is absolutely average for a female. Thank you very much.
Where, in Mexico?
Average.
Oh, Joto, take it back.
Órale, vato, what's happening, mi chica?
Oh, here we go. Now it's turning on the Espanol translations. Here we go.
We're gonna go Spanglish in this bitch. I can't believe you called me little and made fun of me. Oh, you son of a bitch. See, here's what I do though, because I have gigantic boobies. I'm gonna throw her down on the ground and I'm gonna smother her with my boobies until she taps out. That's my plan.
Oof.
I think it's a good solid plan. Good strategy.
It's a booby wrestling match?
A booby wrestling match.
There you go.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is. Why are we lying?
It's like thumb wrestling, but people will watch it.
Exactly.
You know what's funny? Have you seen? I mean,
You know me.
I used to watch the arena football back in the day, but they have that new. It's not lingerie. It's like the ladies of football or something like that. I saw a commercial for it not too long ago during a fight.
Lingerie football league is pretty over with people.
Yeah, no, but this was it wasn't lingerie. They were in lingerie, but they were hitting each other like I'm talking about. They were laying each other out.
Oh, they hate each other.
Oh, you've never seen greater violence than you will ever see at a fucking women's rugby match. That is absolutely fucking terrifying shit.
Women possess
rugby by nature,
like you would not believe.
Oh, that's for sure. But rugby by nature, you're running around with a stick, smashing people in the mouth.
Is that rugby?
So by nature, it's
that's not rugby,
dude. Yes, it is.
Rugby.
Oh no, rugby is
like
you don't get
football.
a stick.
Big
for
football.
rugby.
No, the stick is oh man, was it not no? What is that? With the little net, the stick with the net on the end that looks like a cup.
Lacrosse.
Lacrosse. There you go.
Lacrosse, yeah.
Rugby's the one with the big, oversized football.
Yeah.
With no laces.
Giant bull dyke lesbians that will step on your fucking face.
Brock Lesnar with a wig on's out there. It's a situation.
That shit is terrifying. I'm telling you. Women, when they get into competition with each other in like normal life, are scary. When you add sports to it, it becomes
whole new situation.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of some description that would actually fit this.
Cutthroat.
Hey Tonka, I gotta interrupt real quick. I was in the kitchen making myself something to eat. And I look on the fridge. My brother has a paper for like a doctor's visit or whatever. I'm just looking at him like, hey, it says he's white. What? it says your race is white.
What?
That's because he's
white, what?
Well, not a racist white. It says my race is white.
Oh.
That's because my doctor's 5'2" and Mexican, so I am over 6 foot tall and a couple shades lighter than he is. So he's like, "You're a white dude."
Yeah, but Mexican is not an ethnicity; it's a nationality. Like we all need to stop with that. That actually bugs the fuck out of me. And here's why: because they got these weird ass looking fucking Indians up in the mountains of Chihuahua that will freak you the fucking fuck out. Okay. It's like the Aryan nation started breeding in the mountains and they all picked up Spanish and this weird fucking Indian dialect. And they just like sit there and make little fucking kids like sandals and shit out of old tires and leather. And
sure, why not?
It's fucking disturbing because they're like all blonde haired and blue eyed and they're like speaking Spanish. And like, what the fuck?
They have the exact same thing, Brother Phil.
The problem is your brother Phil. Just call me Failure. It's kind of confusing. But here's the thing: you're a brown man. They're calling you white.
But it's like that thing we saw the other day where the light-skinned people aren't allowed anymore because.
Oh, you mean BIPOC?
Yeah, the BIPOC or the light-skinned people aren't allowed to be included with the BIPOC people.
You want to tell the
people?
You don't know what
sounds like a horrible STD.
Black, Black, Indigenous, and people of color.
Isn't that covered with Black or indigenous?
Yeah, it is. But they're idiots.
So what other color are they? Like various shades of blue?
No,
like
it's just they're dividing amongst themselves. Like light-skinned people are more privileged than black people, so you have to make sure you put the black first before color.
Man, fuck that. Look, there are more black people than there are Indians, so fuck you. We're at the top of the progressive stack. The only people above us are Pacific Islanders who are also transgender. Eat it.
Also transgender.
They have
to. It's not our fault that you got wiped out by a gift of blankets.
Blankets suck, bro.
We didn't need that shit before.
Why are they picking my man Tonka? By the way, to answer you with that whole that you were talking about, Argentina also has a similar town where everybody's blonde, blue haired, and all the women in the town would have nothing but twins.
That's fucking funny.
That is funky.
Yeah, I forget the
It's
name.
like the
I forget
fucking
the name of
blonde
the town.
Mongolians.
No, I forget the name of the town, but I do know that there was a History Channel whole thing on it, and they would have a doctor back in the Nazi era, back Hitler and all that good stuff.
Oh yeah,
that would go over there.
I guess.
Yeah, well, that's where most of them supposedly escaped to. So are the theories. I can't say they did or they didn't. I don't know any of them. But supposedly this town has nothing but blonde-haired, blue-eyed kids. Every woman had twins. And there used to be a German doctor that would come by to help them give labor and give them medicines and injections. So I understand what you're saying with Mexico the same way.
Anybody remember that flick Village of the Damned?
Yep.
That's what that fucking makes me think of. I hate that
fucking movie so fucking much. Oh Jesus, I can't because when they all like blink in unison, like fuck, that shit's scary. I have sisters who are twins and they used to fucking do that shit all the time. I fucking hated it. Oh, and they I don't know if you guys know about like identical twins, but they have their own like language, but it's not really a language because they don't speak.
They're creepy.
And that shit is fucking weird as fuck. They just like answer questions nobody fucking asked. It's like, who the hell are you talking to, you fucking lunatic? And the other one's like, okay, I'll go get it. Like, what the fuck? That shit still to this day fucking creeps me out. Whoa. I'm sorry. I have different sisters, but twins creep me out because of The Shining. So.
Oh, The Shining got you. Okay. Okay.
Yeah. Do you want to play with us forever? Like,
nope.
Whoa. Nope.
Forever and ever and ever.
So much nope.
You
guys want to hear a funny story about Kilroy, though?
Yes.
All right. The original location for Kilroy was going to be the Stanley Hotel in Estes Park, where The Shining is filmed. And I was like, oh, that's cool. I don't really want to be there, though. We started making plans. I'm like, I really don't want to be there, man. Because it's like, no, take the virtual tour. And I'm like, oh my God, this is like my worst fucking nightmare. So I'm like, can we do this somewhere else? And that's how it became Kilroy in Phoenix.
Oh God.
It was almost
like,
where
I don't want to
be.
Can we go back to the pudding?
Ballroom.
Oh yeah, the pudding participants are here. What the fuck were you two talking about? Go ahead and hash it out.
Oh,
yeah,
one of us is going to don a union bikini. The other one's going to don a Confederate bikini, and we're just going to reenact the Civil War in a pool full of pudding.
For charity, of course. So
for charity and science.
Oh yes, also science.
Also charity and science. What charity and what science?
Things. We haven't hashed out all the details yet.
You have to specify. I thought you just said for charity, and then that made it like all classy.
It's all okay now.
Legit
it was classy and legit because charity and science.
Yeah.
That works for me. No, hey, that works for me. I'm not arguing. Shit.
Pick a science. We'll find one.
Sure.
Biology.
No, cryptozoology. We have to find Bigfoot.
Zoology. There you go. Zoology.
At least the Jersey Devil, man.
Jersey Devil doesn't get enough love. That shit's fucking wacky.
Word.
The Chupacabra. Don't go there. Chupacabra.
We need a Mothman.
Fucking Mothman.
Oh, we had Mothman. I'm from West Virginia. We had the Mothman. All that shit.
We got Goatman in Maryland.
Goatman?
Of course you do.
Goatman.
Do tell.
He attacks, or he's like half man, half goat, and he will assault you with an axe.
Didn't they have like a stinky guy or something? Man.
I don't know.
That's a good question, though.
I really don't know, because it's like more north from where I live, so I don't even have to worry about that crypto urban legend.
Don't they have like a stink ape or something like that?
I think that's Florida.
Yeah, in the swamplands or something.
Yeah, I think so.
It's like
haven't
Bigfoot,
seen
but
it.
for rednecks. He
Yeehaw!
wears a
There we
trucker
go.
cap and shit, so that's how you know the difference.
Coveralls and he chews on hay.
Exactly. See, now you get it. And
There
then
you
they
go.
have what's the fucking one in
But-
Tennessee? It's not the skunk ape. They call it something else. Ah, shit, that's gonna bother me. I hate that. Damn it, damn it, damn it,
Uh-oh.
damn it, damn it.
Okay, so what flavor's the pudding?
Oh,
These
I
are
Nobody?
questions.
Butterscotch.
Butterscotch. Fuck.
Why?
I don't know. I like
Yeah.
butterscotch pudding.
It's not old lady wrestling.
I'm fucking.
We're making it.
That's
We're
like
keeping it
A
classy.
whole other search term in Pornhub.
Wrestling right after
Well,
bingo.
because I'm really pale and Based is very tan,
No, I don't.
and
no.
together we make a shade of butterscotch.
I don't even give
Aw.
a fuck. No, it's women dipped in butterscotch sounds fucking licious.
A boob contest, like you said, that works for me too.
Boob
I would win.
How simple.
She would win.
Butterscotch and a boob fight. Come on.
Oh, I guess they just call it the Tennessee skunk ape. Well, there you go then. That was a fucking waste.
Tennessee skunk. I met her. She's a wrestling fan.
Oh God.
Who, the Tennessee skunk ape?
Yeah, they're frequently cited at Tennessee wrestling events.
I bet they are.
Adrian Bloom says to do it at an Indian reservation.
Don't y'all sour it over there.
Do you know what will happen if you do it on an Indian reservation? They will steal all the pudding.
This isn't untrue, but I can't say it's true either, can I? Do I get shit?
I don't know. They might leave it if it's butterscotch, though.
Oh, true.
They're like, shit, this sounds like my grandma's purse.
Butterscotch is fucking great. I don't fucking care.
All right. That's it. I'm buying a Confederate flag. Well, go do it, man.
Go do it.
All right, then.
I don't see what the big deal is about the Confederate flag. Like, I get fucking irritated because it's like, oh, we're going to totally fucking forget what this means. And instead of actually, like, I don't know, bothering to learn about it, what we're going to do is just fucking make some shit up and then run with that.
Just watch reruns of the Dukes of Hazzard and you'll be all right. Don't worry about it.
You're not allowed. No, they don't run that anymore.
Yeah,
no,
I
they took it
know.
off the air. I used to love watching that shit as a kid.
Of course. Were you fucking offended by the General Lee?
Nope.
Nobody
Never been
was.
offended
Your
by an
wife says a
automobile.
cool fucking car.
It's a car.
Yeah,
I had the
it was.
lunchbox with a thermos, by the way.
Car.
Well, on that note, ladies and gentlemen, I'm gonna call it quits. Good night to everyone. And it's time to go. Anybody want any closing words?
It's
None
still a
from anyone.
car.
Butterscotch
It's still a
pudding
car.
wrestling.
Let's work on the pudding and the science behind
Yeah.
the pudding. How about
Putting cars
All
for
right.
science.
that? Good night.
Hashtag